Final fucking war!
All right. Well, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to another installment of the Just Noise podcast. I hope your week is off to a good start. Today, I'm joined once again with my partner in crime, Logan Purdue. Logan, how we doing today, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't complain, sir. It's a beautiful evening. So our guest today is a legend in every right in the Des Moines scene. You may have seen him in numerous different local shows or throughout the last 15 years. When he's not just playing in bands, he's booking bands of all genres, and he's played an integral part in raising funds for various charities in our community as well. Please welcome everyone's favorite Gurn, Justin Rizzy Runge. Justin, what's going on, man?
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me. It's a fucking honor. On top of the few people you've already had, this is really cool. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We could not have it without you, man.
Well, what's up? What has been up with you guys? It's been a while. I know you guys have both been kind of busy.
Dad life.
Dad life, yeah.
Logan's all about
Welcome to
that
that.
dad life. I know you guys know about that.
Welcome to that, man. How is not sleeping? That's great.
Yeah, we're getting through it. She's starting to sleep through the nights now, so it's going a lot better.
I got pretty lucky with my kid actually getting a pretty good sleep schedule in, so the rest for me was pretty easy, but I know some other people don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
get as much rest as I got, so hats off to
No,
you
the
for
the
still
first
making your
6
life run
months
without any
sucked,
sleep.
right?
Dude's been up since like 3:30 today, man. That's crazy.
Internal clock is
Yeah.
at like 6 a.m. every day, but yeah, I get that.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Same.
Well, let's get right into it, man. Justin, Logan, you want to start off, break into Justin's past here a little bit?
Yeah, you just want to give us like a brief rundown, like, kind of like where you got started, like what got you started into wanting to like do music and, like what led you into like your first band and stuff like that.
Uh, Man, growing up, I mean, as a child, I was a big boy band kid. Huge NSYNC, dude. I was doing the choreography, bye bye bye. I was doing all that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, my dad, he raised me around like, classic rock, a lot of Grateful Dead, a lot of stuff along that kind of era. He's a big Deadhead. Loved the acid, loved the
Mhm.
booze, as we all did. That's why I'm wild. So growing up, my dad would have his friends over, and his friends got into the heavier stuff a little bit sooner than he did. You know, they kind of adjusted to the times. He kind of stayed behind a little bit. Dude, like Megadeth, Motorhead,
Dude, that's where it
AC/DC,
started for me, Megadeth. Keep going,
Metallica.
but mhm.
They were like moshing and pushing each other around in the backyard, and I just thought that was like super cool. You know, I thought that was very captivating, and
Mhm.
uh, you
Hell yeah.
know, he didn't really like my direction that I was taking from them too much. Shout out Ben. His best friend was like the biggest metal influence that I had as a kid. I still see him today at shows. He doesn't mosh anymore, but I remember him taking me down at Bel Air one time. Uh,
Dude, yeah, doing a deep dive in you. I know. I just want to I don't want to interrupt you. You keep doing you, but Ben said Slipknot and grilled cheese. That's how your best friend your best friendhood started in middle school.
yeah, that's pretty much the uh, what all brought me together in doing music was just meeting Ben. We'll just cut the story short
Mhm.
here. I met Ben Monroe in middle school. We had family and consumer science class together, and I had like a System of a Down shirt on. He had a Slipknot shirt. We had to pick partners or do some kind of project, and we chose to like make grilled cheese together as the simplest thing. I mean, clearly
That's
we each
awesome.
have made grilled cheese before. We each had a metal
But
shirt
that was the
on.
best grilled cheese ever.
It was really good. I mean, I'm not gonna take all the credit for that because both of our culinary skills weren't really up to par to what they are now. but Ben had like bruises like on his arms, and I remember like, I mean, getting kind of like deep here. I grew up in kind of like an abusive home, you know, so I was like, "Are you
Hmm.
okay? Is there, you know, or do you get beat too? You know?" He's like, "No, dude, I go to the House of Bricks and I go into mosh pits."
And
I
I
was
get
like,
beat up
"What?"
there.
I'm like, "Oh, do you know Slipknot?" Because he's like wearing the shirt. He's like, "No, I don't know them, but like, if you want to hang out, I can like show you this stuff." And he took me
Okay.
to my first shows, kind of got me into it, and the rest is pretty much just history from there.
I was watching a lot of deep dive videos just in general, and I found some old school Swallow the Glass videos with you, and yeah, it was just crazy to see little Justin shooting basketball hoops and hanging out with Ben, and dude, it was a huge throwback seeing those videos. It was crazy.
There's a I was when he was doing the Swallow the Glass, that was like
Hmm.
eighth grade into like high school. He played like the very first day of our high school in like ninth grade. I remember that with a broken leg. He fucking
It
had
was
a
that when he
cast
had the
on.
is that when he had the mohawk that was like the
The
long
mullet
mohawk that
hawk,
the
the like mullet
mo-
pony. It was insane. It was so sick. Yeah. So I was the drum technician
that's
for
what, yeah,
them
the drum tech.
because the drummer Sam Talrico, man, he was a big part of this too. Got me into that, and he was in a wheelchair with muscular
Hmm.
dystrophy. Um, Dude can still play drums better than so many people. Can't use half his body, but he fucking rips, you know.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
Hmm.
That's
and
awesome.
I would set up his drums for him. He had a rug that had like tape where all the stands are supposed to go. All the
Hmm.
stands had tape on like what measurements they were supposed to be. It was all meticulous, and he showed me that. It sucked having to carry him up on stage though, because like he was very heavy in that wheelchair.
That's so cool, dude. Like I'm just looking back on that video. It was, like I said, it was a blast from the past. I found a lot of really cool videos. It was from the Moreau family YouTube, so it was pretty wild.
I was
So
actually just showing people "Let Lost Days Remain" videos the other day. They're like, "That's
that's where,
you?"
yep, that's where we wanted
Yeah,
to
you
go
can't
next with
tell.
this. That's crazy.
Let's
How
get
long
into
were
it.
you doing? How long were you doing Let Lost Remains? Because we were looking into that, and that started around 2009. About.
It started in probably my sophomore year of high school, so probably 2008 was when it actually started. That's another thing. Ben met these kids, the two other metal kids, right away. They were jamming up in the attic. They went by Nedic, Nathan and Eric in the attic, is what it was. It was just two dudes playing guitar. That was it. They had no drums, no other bass player, no nothing. Ben's like, "Oh well, I play drums," and brought his drum kit over there. Then they needed a vocalist, and I screamed in the car a lot with him going to shows, and he was like, "Well, this guy kind of does vocals." Brought me into Let Lost Days Remain. Um, Brought in our other buddy that was a musician. He was like, "Well, this other kid just hangs out and smokes weed with us all the time. He plays acoustic guitar. He can play bass, I guess." So then we brought in our buddy Kane,
You can play bass.
and like I
You
remember
got
like
that down.
there was like there's pictures of us all wearing like metal t-shirts and trying to look tough, and he's wearing like a pink bandana around his head, and then has like a shirt that just has like it's like, what mood are you in? But it's a bunch of different weed faces, like happy, sad, stoned, fucking all this. It's like that's what he's wearing on stage, and we're trying to be like serious metal kids, you know, like high school. It's like, yeah, you're really, really, we're really tough. And got this fucking stoner bass player guy.
That's awesome.
But I don't
Did
know
you
what
guys play a lot of
happened.
shows under that band name?
Yeah, we played a lot. I played for quite a few years as that. Ben wasn't always in the band. Something happened during some recording process, and we got into it, and he left the band.
Hmm.
And we ended up bringing Mondo into the band, and he was in a bunch of other stuff after
Hmm.
us. But
Yeah, yeah, yep.
we brought Mondo in, and
Was
then that was the full lineup for fuck, probably. I don't know, I'll probably say 3, 4 years. We played a bunch of really cool shows at House of Bricks, Vaudeville Muse. I know that we got to play this like country club in like not Sac City. It was somewhere northeast,
Like, Sioux City.
some fucking lake up in northwest Iowa or something like that. I can't remember. Storm Lake. We played near Storm Lake at some place, and I remember me and Mondo drank all the Jaeger out of the clubhouse, and we forgot our cymbals. That sucked.
Oh, dude, that'd be rough.
Damn.
So yeah, it sounds like you did that for a couple years. I know that like looking back into it on the interwebs, it's a little hard to find, old stuff, but it looks like one of the last shows you guys played was at the House of Bricks, and you guys played with the Curse of Hail and Ken Payne's original band, Shoot the Moon, right?
Yeah, that might have been our actual final show, and I remember the Curse
Mm-hmm.
of Hail playing before us, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "How do we fucking follow this? Like, what the fuck?" They sounded like Darkest Hour. They had a lot of boop, baka, boop, baka, boop, baka, boop,
Mm-hmm.
baka, boop, and they
Yeah.
fucking killed it. And I was like, "What the fuck? We got to play after that." Like, I'm glad this is our fucking last show, dude. We don't stand a chance, dude, with these guys. And it was like Josh was on guitar. I don't even remember who else, but I just remember him being the one guy that I was just stuck on. Like, this fucking guy
Mm-hmm.
is going to, and he was younger than I was, I think, at the time, you know? And I was like, this dude is going to be insane. And look at him now, you know? Fuck, I
Hey,
was right.
he is insane. That is for sure.
Yeah. Those guys
Shoot
rip.
the Moon, though. Wow, I forgot all about that. Sean was in
Mm-hmm.
that. I think Ken. I don't even think Ken sang in that. I think he might have like played guitar.
Might
I
have to
remember
ask
being
him. I
like,
thought he was the singer, but yeah, it's been so long, dude. I have no idea.
or maybe I'm thinking like, wow, he can scream. I don't remember him being able to scream in that band. That was it.
So moving forward from there, your next project after that was What We've Become. Where did you meet all the guys from What We've Become? Because I mean, that was Miles, Mondo, Casey, and Devin, right?
It
Who
started
and
out. I I ended up meeting Casey um, from he was in uh, Fatal Fall, and Let Lost Days Remain
that's
played with
right.
Fatal Fall quite a bit when we were growing up, and like that was one of the main locals we played with. Them, Staying United we played with a bunch. At the Center of
Mm-hmm.
Serenity, obviously the Curse of Hail we played with. Dividing the Masses I brought down here.
Oh,
Um,
geez.
yeah, just I lost track of where we were at. Sorry, ADD.
No, you're good. Who was so? Yeah, I was talking about the members for What We've Become. Who was the
Oh,
other
okay.
vocalist? Was that your old roommate? I couldn't quite tell.
That was initially it was Nick Smith, Tyler Bluebaugh, Devin Madron, AC, and Miles. And then they were like, well, we want to have like more of like a heavier range of vocals. So they hit me up. I think I was like 17 at the time. I wasn't even
Mm-hmm.
like graduated out of high school yet when this happened. I've known Miles from Roosevelt. We went to school together. Um, and then shortly after that, Tyler Bluebaugh quit. Wasn't really the kind of music that he likes to play. He's more of a technical death metal guy, um, which made sense. Thank you for writing Haterade, Tyler. That was a cool song. Thank you for writing that.
That's that again.
We
That's another
rode on
topic.
the
Was
back
damn,
of that
you guys have
song.
awesome fucking song titles. Sorry. Anyway, keep going.
We rode
Yeah,
on the
the song
back of that
titles were
song,
awesome.
Tyler. Yeah, I was like, when I changed the name from originally it was Corbin Dallas. When I changed it from Corbin Dallas to What We've Become, I started writing more serious titles for songs. You know, not like
Okay.
Right.
Oops,
Bipolar Polar Bear. I
Oops,
love that one
yeah,
too.
Oops, I Was Rated Again. That was written
It,
about Mondo
but it
being
was like
raided by the
very,
DEA. You know, like just
very for the time though. Like MySpace had all that wild stuff, and The
Yeah,
dual
and
vocals thing was cool. Like I love
no other
watching the old
bands were doing
videos of
that
that.
in town, you know, at least not like calculating it and like doing it right like that, you know. I
Right.
know Kings, I think Kings was a hardcore band from like Iowa City. They had two vocalists and that shit was fucking dope.
They were really good. We were talking about that recently. We found a treasure trove of. I wish I could say the dude's name. I don't remember his name, but we found this guy from
Me
like
either. That was
the
awesome.
early 2012s, 2011s. He's got all these old school videos of like Marla Singer. He had all sorts of
Oh
stuff.
shit,
Like he
deep
had some. I
dive.
don't remember if he had What We've Become, but he had like the They Will Repent stuff right before I joined They Will Repent too. So it was pretty
And like the
wild.
video quality was like good on all of them too.
Yeah.
Like you could actually hear everything going on. It was cool for
Wow.
being those
Was it
that old.
were those filmed at like vaudeville probably? Or just
So,
all
I mean,
A
local
well, a
lot of
lot
them
of
were in Iowa City.
yeah.
like Gabe's probably or Blue Moose or something.
He had the whole Great American Bash Festival that They Will Repent got to play, and that Danny Shea did years and years and years ago. But I'll have to find the YouTube channel and I'll send it to you, dude, because there's so many choice gems in there. Like I found a whole set of Moors, Mark Leon's old band, the other day too.
Oh
So
yeah,
cool
sick. Yeah,
shit.
that's a cool lineup of people too.
Ian,
I
yep,
forgot
dude.
about that band.
Unrelated to what we're talking about right now, I was just watching a video before we started that Alex posted where it was Ian jamming with him, and dude, they're just again we were talking about it recently, but they're just phenomenal. They're so crazy together. But anyway,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like the Fall of Troy on crack.
with Veil of Maya sprinkled in too, like just
Yep.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So back to What We've Become. That was a really cool time for you. You guys got to play some killer shows. You guys got to open for the Ghost Inside. I think that was in Iowa City, right? Do you remember that one?
We got to play that.
Well, it was
We
yeah. You guys
played
opened
that.
for the Ghost Inside. Yeah. I don't remember if it was Iowa City or what, but it was. It's in
Oh,
my
I know.
notes here. So tell me I'm a liar.
Wow.
That's cool too.
I mean, I know we played. We got to play with some pretty cool bands. We got to play with like Signs of Hope, Solidarity at All
Mhm.
Play.
All play was dope, dude.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
we didn't really get it. What we become didn't really play out of town too much. I know that we played.
Hmm.
I think we might have played like we played Iowa City with Macabre a couple times. I know that we played Omaha like once, but it was like a very weird show where like
Hmm.
nobody we were like the out of town band and then like we played first or something. Uh yeah, that I think the Ghost Inside show is probably one of those like main ones that we got to play. Wow, I'm gonna have to like look that up. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'll
the
have to look into it a
reminder.
little deeper too. Yeah,
That's
it's in my
crazy.
notes. I didn't have a picture or nothing, but yeah. So,
My
um,
face, I was like, yeah, I
you're
Oh
like,
guess.
wait,
shit.
Well, that's a cool
sweet.
one. I guess that kind of makes sense because I think one of the members what is from here, so maybe they wanted a cool
I
hardcore
think one of
band
the
from Des Moines.
guitarists is from Des
Stain
Moines.
United played that, right? Too? Did they play that too?
I don't know, man. I might have to look into it. I don't want to do it right now and pull my phone out on
Yeah.
on the cast, but yeah, we'll definitely look into it. So, um, so yeah, moving forward a little bit more. So you've always kind of done some birthday shows. At what point did you start doing birthday shows? Do you recall? Because I mean, I was looking into
Oh
it
yeah,
some, and
I had this
what
locked
point
in.
did it go from? Okay, you got it locked in. At what point did it go from being just your birthday shows to being like actual Gurn Fest?
So it started with my 20th birthday at the rock shop. And I was like, well, I like to party. I book bands here anyway. Why not celebrate together? I don't do anything with my family. I don't mainly just want to party. Free beer, you know? So I booked it there and it was like $50 at the rock shop to book. And it was like the first show was $3. I was looking it up. It was a $3 show and there was like fucking 12 bands on it. Like A Mass the Grave, uh Heartland. I think they were. I had the list on my phone. I can't really
Hmm.
pull it up, but I had the whole entire show. You can still find the event pages on Facebook.
I tried to
So
look through them all. There was a lot of them.
I did the
I
20th.
saw you posted a bunch of the pictures of all the flyers. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yo, you're good. Yeah, I need to get those and like save them and like print them out again because those are all like
Yeah, that would be cool.
it's funny to see the progression of like the graphic design. Like, oh, you can clearly tell I made one of them,
Yeah.
and then it's like I hired somebody and it's still not that good, but it gets better and better as the years go on because people's skills get better.
But it's
So
cool. It'd be cool
21st
to have to
birthday,
look back.
yeah. After the first one went well, I was like, well, fuck, man, we got to do something bigger for my 21st birthday. You know, what about vaudeville? It's an actual bar. I've been like drinking there underage for like, I don't know how long. So, like, the bartender the day of, he was like, huh, 21. Really?
I
Since
don't know
fucking
anything about
when?
that, Justin.
Macabre headlined it. I had rap groups, uh, fucking crazy ass lineup. It was a 5 to 9 all ages, and then from like 10 to 2 a.m. it was 21 up. And I remember there was like this old metal dude who showed up. He's like, I just saw this flyer and saw a birthday party and wanted to come hang out. And then he invited his friend, and his friend's like, shows up late, probably fucking 11 p.m., He's like, well, I saw it was a birthday. I can't show up without a birthday gift. And he hands me this like long birthday gift. It looks like the size of a loaf of bread. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm like walking around all drunk with this fucking thing. And he's like, you gonna open it? And I open it up and it's a fucking alligator gar. Like like he like caught this fish and brought it to me as my birthday gift. And I remember just like
What the
slapping
fuck?
people with it. I'm head banging up front to Macabre with this fucking fish. Dude, crazy. How can you forget that? You know?
That's wild as hell. That's
So
fucking crazy.
yeah, during that time I was working at Zombie Burger and a coworker of mine, Taylor, her birthday was a day before or after. It was like really close to my birthday. And she also was involved in the music scene more along like the punk and indie route and like noise stuff. So we joined together um, and built a lineup that kind of fit both of our likings. But she's like, I don't want to call it Taylor and Justin's birthday bash. And I had been using the word Gurn that I took from the guys in Macabre when I stayed with them for a while. They told me
Is
about
that
this
where that
drunk
came from?
they told me about this drunk guy who would just like show up at their house because they lived in like a small like 1,500 like cap place, population called
Hmm.
Mishicot, and like the bar is literally like right across the street, like catty corner to their house. So if they had the lights on, this fucking Gurn would just walk in there and like try to go hang out with them, I guess. And
The bar's
yeah,
closed, but your house is still open, right?
Yep.
yeah, so he's like, what
Go
are you guys doing? Like, get the fuck out of here, Gurn. Go home. And then I just like thought that was funny. So like anyone really sloppily drunk or like acting a fool, I would just like call it Gurn. Like I went
Hmm.
to Warp Tour in Milwaukee and it was just emo kids, goth kids, Gurn, Gurn, Gurn. Everybody was a fucking Gurn. And I just kind of like brought that home and turned it into something out of nothing. Come to find out, it's an actual thing. If like they have an actual competition, guys. Have you guys seen this? You guys have probably each sent me the video on fucking Instagram of these dudes doing this, fucking doing the Popeye.
Oh,
I
I've
swear to
seen that.
God, dude,
Oh,
I had to post it.
that's
Straight
Stop
gurning.
fucking. Everybody, stop sending me that fucking video. I've seen it.
I don't
Trust
have
me, I've seen it.
Instagram. I've never seen it.
Oh my God.
That's funny as hell.
So, just right, if we're talking about Gurnfest real quick. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't think it was last year, maybe it was the year before that the Emblem faction played, and you had your flyer that had the gnome bitch on it. We
Yes.
had that on our merch table for the shows coming up before that, and I can't remember the dude's name, but he came up without his glasses on. He'd been in the pit, and he was just like looking at our stuff, and he looked at our flyer, and he's like, "Cumfest. I think I'll go to that." And it was just like, "What did you just say?" And he just walked right off, didn't even ask any questions. It was just like,
Oh,
what?
it was. I didn't even like. I read Gurn because all I see and hear and think is Gurn. So I don't read cum. But then after someone said something, I'm like, motherfucker, it does say cum
I
fest
didn't see
on
it that
it.
way either, but yeah, it looks like
And it's like
you might be spooky after
sudsy.
you touch that flyer.
It's all sudsy and it looks like liquid. Yeah, it's like a beer spilling out. Yeah.
I still think
Fucking
it's dope, but
Christ.
that made the night for me. It was so funny. Like it was just like what?
Cum fest. And the walks clear, like, wait, that's not it.
But come anyway though. But not that way. So okay, anyway, we got a little off track there. Go ahead, Logan.
I had a question, like Gurnfest. So hypothetical, if you got to book one with whatever, like 5 or 6 bands, like, and they could be non-existing, like what, and you could put anyone on it. Who would you put on it?
Guys, this is the hardest thing to ever answer, ever.
I
Uh,
hear you. I get it.
I actually like I was working on this this morning, like actually like putting in work on what the lineup I think would be. And I was like, okay, we'll make it realistic. I want to go as realistic as possible. So if these people hear it and see
Okay.
it, they're like, yeah, maybe, yeah.
No,
I'm just
I
gonna
totally
start
get
off.
that. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna start off with Entheos. I would love Entheos on a Gurn Fest. I feel like they would bring in a bunch of Gurns. I think it'd be great.
Oh yeah.
They always
That'd
do
be
a
sick.
really good job here. They pack out the place. Cheney's been a fucking local legend and like a hero of mine for a very, very long time. So it'd be an honor to have them in general to be able to book them, but let alone have them on Gurn Fest would be the shit. I'll
Every
say
time they're
Terror.
even in Iowa, it's a treat.
I'll say Terror.
Yeah.
Be cool to have
Terror.
Terror on it. Because they're still dedicated to hardcore. No, they'll probably play a. They
Right.
could probably play a Gurnfest for a reasonable amount. An off date
For
of a
sure.
thing.
Right.
Scott Vogel, we got vodka. Oh god, he's not gonna like that one.
Right.
So and then those are probably just the two main, big ones that I think would be realistic. And I just want to go for a bunch of crazy locals. So the Curse of Hail, obviously they play it, but they're always gonna play it as long as I have a say.
Staple. Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
The homies in Skinned Alive, gotta have them.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Traffic Death. The Emblem faction, but they gotta fly in Michael Barr for the guest.
That would be wild.
We'll save volumes too. Might as well. Might
Yeah,
as
might as well
well.
bring it all together, full
I
circle.
know.
Make it happen.
Let's see here. Drew would be awesome. I think that'd be a
Druids,
cool
yeah.
band.
That would be cool.
And then Wu-Tang Clan. We'll just end it with we'll just end it.
Hell
Ain't none
yeah.
to fuck
Or
with.
like a group that is like shittily covering Wu-Tang. That like all 9 people doing a really bad job.
That would be
That-
awesome. We're a couple of the guys, the mic's
That
not
would-
working, and they're just
that'd
going watermelon, watermelon,
They're all
watermelon. Like when you say
They're
that, and
all-
it looks like you're you say
hey,
that,
watch
and it looks
out,
like
watch
you're
out.
saying
You
that-
say watch out. Watch
I'm
out,
saying in the
watermelon, watch
beat.
out.
No,
I was
that's not
saying
what
they're
I'm
all
getting
white
at.
guys.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Logan's got that flow. He's coming through.
No.
I was saying
Dylon,
they're all white.
Dylon,
Stays on
Dylon,
beat
Dylon,
with you.
Dylon.
Whatever. That's not what I was getting at.
Logan,
Sorry.
Yeah,
Logan.
That's yeah.
What?
You spit
Yeah,
hot
I
fire.
mean it's so hard to pick a lineup though. I mean, so many cool people. I mean, with it being like a birthday thing that I like to put on, I always like to curate it to have like as many as my friends on it as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll say Enthea, Traffic Death, the Emblem Faction, Skinned Alive, Drew, volume, and then yeah, well,
The Wu
we'll see.
Tang Clan impersonators.
Yes.
And the Wu Tang impersonators because they're all white.
Yeah. Yes.
The
So
Wu
at
Tang
what point
Club.
the Wu Tang Club? Uh, so at what point did you start? I remember in the past I was doing some Iowa Core stuff with Justin and the gang, and towards the end of that, you kind of joined forces with us a little bit, and we were doing some shows at the Rock Shop and maybe a couple at Vaudeville. After that, I mean, we kind of fizzled out a little bit on the Iowa Core side. Is that when you started booking more yourself, or I know you've kind of always dabbled a little bit, and even in more recent years, like in the last year or two, you've actually started Rizzy Productions. But was that around the time that you kind of started booking more, as opposed to just like I know you'd bring in like Macabre whenever they were gonna be in the area? But anyway, I'm rambling.
Um, yeah, I guess I didn't want to stop being involved. When I was in Let Lost Days Remain, I believe is when the Hardcore Collective originally started. I had started going to shows and meeting some of the people involved in that, and then when What We Become was when I joined that band, that's when Des Moines Hardcore Collective was like a full force. They had like 20 people. They were doing a bunch of shows all over the place. And I remember being invited to go to a meeting at like um, a coffee shop, and I didn't like have a ride, and I was like, I don't, I bitched out pretty much. I was like a teenage kid. I was afraid to go by myself to like
Mm-hmm.
a thing to get involved. To be like, well, these guys don't really talk to me when I go to shows. Why, what's going to change if
I
I
don't know
go to
anybody
that?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody at the time, and I was, kind of nervous about going and meeting new people, I guess. So I started booking my own stuff, trying to get more involved, and then later along the line, I did get another invitation because of the stuff that I was doing to join the Des Moines Hardcore Collective.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it was a pretty big group. It had around like 10 people still in it. A lot of them were a lot younger. I know it was me, Andrew Farron, ex-vegan Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was a handful of other people kind of involved. And I don't know what happened or how it happened, but I got kind of like, it just kind of got thrown into my hands. Like, if you want to keep it going, keep it going. So I kept doing shows under Des Moines Hardcore Collective and ended up bringing in my own little crew of people that I, got more involved. Devin
Mm-hmm.
Curry, Alexis, Cooper Bauer. I mean, there's just like a bunch of people were involved. Cody Chapman, he was a big, big help for a lot of those things too. Um, yeah, I mean, I just never wanted to stop. Um, Des Moines Hardcore Collective kind of fizzled out after, like, I got news that I was going to be a dad. I was like, I can't. I didn't have anyone in the collective. It wasn't really a collective. It was just me. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really
Right.
have any help. I didn't have anyone help like funding the bank. I was losing money on shows. Other drama was going on that kind of affected that too. And I just decided, I'm going to take a little break, focus on being a dad and getting ready for that, but instead of
Mm-hmm.
concerts. It was still
Right.
cool to be involved and go to shows, but I took a step back myself during that time, and it surely didn't fucking help that either. I remember right around
Yeah.
time I was booking Macabre at the Fremont with like a sick fucking lineup, and then it was like April something that it was planned to be, and then in March everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd be like, sorry guys, I know you guys don't care about COVID because we're smoking cigarettes and drinking booze. But, like, I gotta cancel. You guys gotta cancel your whole tour.
Right.
And that was like the last show that I had booked was right before Gurn Fest. I think was probably one of the first ones that I did coming after, which is just a wild one.
That would be
Yeah,
crazy.
they really sidelined a lot of things, especially at that time. Um, Not to jump back, but what I do want to touch on, one thing that I when we were doing our deep dive, the one thing that was I really respected and I want to come back. I've seen some people talk about it too. Is the original Facebook, where being in a band just meant promoting your surrounding musicians and fellow band members that you really appreciated. Just something as simple as like you just dropped like 5 or 6 bands that you tagged. You didn't even say anything. Maybe it was just like go listen to these bands. But yeah, you were a huge advocate and you been going to shows in the local area for years and years and years, and that's just something looking back on. It's like that's so cool. I wish that more bands did that in this day and age, where they just tag their homies, gas them up.
That's something like I'm a huge fan of like the new like wave of deathcore coming back, like this new MySpace deathcore, and that's something that's like big within those bands. 'Cause, like you can go to any of their Facebook pages, like I Saw God or In Which Divides Us, any of them, and just scroll through and like you can go through 10 posts before you even see something about their band. It's usually all of them promoting other bands within this new like wave. It's pretty crazy to see that coming back, like because that's something that was missed. It just became like an everybody for themselves. Like, I don't know, just like the tough guy stuff became Facebook tough guy stuff, where everybody's for themselves, and it was annoying.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed a big resurgence on people fucking with more people, like sharing more bands. They're more open to different genres instead of being so single-minded on stuff. Um, I mean, if you've just seen like any of the shows that have come up around lately, it's so well rounded with the lineups. Like we have oi bands, metal bands, deathcore bands, and all like punk bands, all playing the same show. And there's like it's going back to the OG shit where there's no fucking problems. People are like learning. They're open to this, and they're
Yeah,
yeah, they're
they help each
supporting
other.
the people that are fucking supporting them. And I think that's what we need to push a lot more, especially locally, is putting on for your people. Like this city is not going to grow by itself unless we try to take it upon ourselves as members in band to show people other music, to be kind to
Yeah,
other people in person. Yeah,
yeah, we're all one
don't
scene.
be
We
a
have to
fucking cool
make
guy.
it together.
Talk to
We're
Yeah,
not
people. Welcome
we're
these
not
younger
scary
people.
guys. We're all fucking Gurns, bro. Like not
I
drunk
mean,
Gurns, but we're just
we
Gurns.
just played we just played a show. Final Word played with Sanction and Torture like last Sunday, and we
And
played
Balmora,
first.
right?
Right, I'm up on
yeah,
stage, and I'm like getting in my zone, and there's these four kids. Right, they fucking get in the door, they run right to the front. I That got me going. I was like, dude, we don't see this shit. And A, I was like, those poor kids, they're in the danger zone. B, that's very cool that they're up,
Danger zone.
but they're like, hey, are you in a band? And I was like, oh my god, he's in one of the bands. Can we get a photo with you? And like, I got a photo, like and then we go into playing, and they're like, they talk to me after our set. They're like, you are so different in person than up there. Like, you're so nice and calm and like kind and like you're like so like welcoming, and up there you're like knock somebody's fucking head off. It's like, sorry, I get into a zone up there. They're getting just fucking smoked in the front, and they're just like
right.
smiling afterwards. They stuck around till the bands were leaving, dude. That was their
That's
first
awesome.
heavy show was that, and they're getting just their asses beat, and they're still supporting every band, buying their merch. Fucking, that's what we need.
Yeah,
Support, support, support. We need this. It's on
yeah,
fire.
You never forget the first time you see somebody get their ass beat in the pit that you don't expect. You're just
right.
That's what
yeah.
drew me in. That's what got me into hardcore. Getting kicked by Paul and Dice during Two Peer to Die. It was insane. I was like, well, this is fucking cool. I'm taking these fucking trip pants.
This is for me. Yeah, that's hilarious, dude.
Like,
So
no longer a girl.
so back to where we were at with moving forward after what we've become. So you guys did a brief reunion there. You guys did a comeback show for the Joel Halterman reunion, right? Or the fundraiser, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a huge loss for the What We've Become camp. Joe was a huge supporter of us. He was a brother of ours. Uh, Dude had the worst mosh style, I think, but he still went in there. He still gave her, you know. Uh, he passed, and it was only right for us to do that for him. Like that was, I don't. That was probably one of our best shows that we ever played. It was really fucking emotional. I remember we had Kaden come up on stage like right before we played. I handed her the mic, and she was like, "I miss my daddy very much. Everybody headbang." And I was like, "You fucking heard her! Everybody headbang!" It was nuts, and everyone went nuts. We played Haterade. We were jumping around. I think we raised like $500 to go for some of the expenses for um, Mackenzie and the kids. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
exactly what we did, but we had a really cool lineup for that. Out of the ashes of What We've Become was actually born Submerged. Miles and Casey were in What We've Become.
Mm-hmm.
We were practicing in Ben's garage, I think, at the time. I ended up moving in there later.
At the house on the
We
south
ended up
side.
practicing. Yeah, and I was like, "Well, Steven, do you want to play in a hardcore band? Just listen to Hatebreed. That's it. That's what I told him. Like, listen to Hatebreed and write that." And then we
Because he
got
came
some.
from Ben's first band, right?
Yeah, he was in Swallow the
Yeah.
Glass, and that was
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't even know what you would consider that. Metalcore, scream. I guess
Something
screamo.
emo metalcore, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, emo core, metalcore. And then
Well,
I guess he was
he
the guitar
definitely took
player. And
he definitely listened to you when you said, listen to Hatebreed, because yeah, to a T,
yeah,
you got
definitely
it.
Hatebreed. It's always
Yeah.
the one. A lot. Yeah, What We Become's last show was that one, and it was out of the ashes of that we made Submerged. So that's pretty.
Yeah, you guys were the dominant hardcore band there in the Des Moines scene for the longest time. You guys were 2013 to about 2016. You guys did a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, that was a good one. I was it that one started um initially as like a studio project. Mondo and I were not in like we were in Let Lost Days Remain together and What We Become. We're like, well, fuck, man, we want to do some other shit, but he didn't have equipment. I obviously is not. I'm not gonna fund his musical. So Ben Monroe was down at those practice spaces down off East Sixth, where the
Mm-hmm.
Tomb, or he was out there. And we're like, well, yo, can we come into the studio and just kind of like write songs there with you, just hanging out? He let us. I don't even know if he charged us. I think he just like let us hang out with him, and I think the only deal was he had to be on the music with us, like helping us
Mm-hmm.
play the drums or producing it, pretty much being a producer for us. And we wrote "Rise to Fall," the first track, and then there's another track we never really, uh, it was the most positive submerged song you would have ever heard ever. It was about changing your life, making a change. You know, it was on that realm of what we be, but it just did not fit. I was like, dude, I don't know, man. This is a little too happy for what we're trying to go. And I remember Mondo didn't want to do a band. He just wanted to a studio group, just only do that, release music, release
Mm-hmm.
music, release music. He didn't care about playing live. That's all I cared about. I was like, well, I'm fucked. I got Casey and Miles down, dude. If you are, he's like, I don't want to do it. We fizzled out as friends for a second there, and then I brought Steven in, and then I was like, well, we're gonna use your riff because Steven learned it off of just listening.
Mm-hmm.
So then there was that. Started Submerge as a four, practicing in a fucking 10 by 10 room down there. Fucking
I
I
so
watched
love
some
that.
of the live shows of Submerged. That I love some of those stuff. I watched the CD release one. There's a couple parts that made me laugh in that. Some guy tries to hand you a bush light. And you're like, get that shit out of here. I'm a PBR guy. This shit, I was dying. And then like,
yeah.
right after that, like a fight breaks out and like I don't know, you were just like, who's fucking fighting? You just took off that stage at vaudeville. Like, whoever's holding that camera, because, like, I've been there so many times, like, I just knew the whole layout. Like, he was fucking bolting through there, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that was I think I was like, yo, if you want to fight someone, you can fight me. And
Yeah,
then everyone's
yeah.
like, no, I don't want, no.
Yeah, and you had the shirt off and
Yeah,
everything. You're like, oh, it's fucking great.
yeah, yeah. That was the first show that I ever like sold out. I like that was the first show I'd ever booked that had like reached capacity. I guess you could probably say the Rock Shop for like my 20th birthday. That was fucked. I mean, that was like there's like 1,000 beers there or something. I was like, if you don't have money, just bring me beer.
Rat could have paid rent off of the rock shop for all the cans and bottles that the bands left behind at the rock shop.
I'm pretty sure he did that. He probably had that. The guy above him probably took them all and returned them. That's what I would.
They got returned by somebody. But yeah, that's fucking cool. I really enjoyed the Vengeance video that Justin did for you. Shout out Justin, dude. Fucking that video is cool as
Yeah,
hell.
shout out Justin
Yeah.
Troutner. That was fucking sick. I remember like being like, oh great, now we have a music video. We're not even it was our last show. We didn't like great. Now we have this for our last.
Oh,
But
damn.
I like rewatching that because it just shows just how much we grew as a band. Because those are like the last three songs that we
Hmm.
wrote, you know, and you can just see like, God, it's so crazy to see the growth of all the people that are in that video.
It really
It's just
captured the energy of
all the
what
hope.
was the rock shop at that time. Like you could if you've been there before, you can see somebody just kicking a hole in the wall because that happened multiple times. Like it's
It was just
nuts.
so. We played our first show as Submerged in that small room, and we played our
Hmm.
last show as Submerged in that small room with the original lineup because we did another reunion for when Curtis
With
passed
RJ,
away.
right?
I did another,
Hmm.
yeah, and RJ learned a set list off of by ear in like a. I don't know exactly what happened, but Steve was our guitar player was just not into doing the show. I'm not
Hmm.
sure exactly what the issue was, but we're like, we're fucking doing it, dude. So if we got to get someone to play, we're getting someone to play. And RJ
Yeah,
was, I mean, RJ and Curtis were very, very good friends, and he was not going to not do that. So
yeah.
shout out
RJ broke out the
RJ
pit bull and
for
he was
coming
ready to
through.
go, man.
And I remember being like, well, he didn't know any other songs but the set list. So we're like,
Hmm.
just play track marks again, but slower. Like, we just did that. Everyone just went nuts. Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, dude. Well, I
I don't
think
know
one
what it
thing that
was about us always having pillows. We always had pillows at our shows.
Yeah, I thought
Like,
that was cool seeing that different parts videos. I don't know why. I love when
I
bands
think we
throw shit into the
signed.
crowds to do stuff like that.
you signed the
I think
pillows.
we signed it. Yeah, we signed it, and then it was just fucking destroyed, like afterwards or something. I don't know exactly what the thing was with that. We signed it, yeah, like it just got like feathers everywhere. It's just
Well, one thing I did want to touch on that I thought was really cool that you've been doing for a number of years and it finally came to fruition here recently was the skate park fundraiser shows, dude. That's super cool. I mean, I know it's been a while since they finally finalized the skate park and they even did the Dew tour, but yeah, you've done like at least 3 years of the fundraiser, right? Maybe more.
yeah. I think it was 2016, 17, and 18 were the years that I did that. I was at like a friend's giving like the year prior, and I remember Mitch Kissel, shout out Mitch. He's like, dude, you ever thought about doing a fundraiser for the skate park? And I was like, fucking Subsec does that. You know, like they don't want anything to, they don't want anyone else to fuck with that besides them.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, dude, I think like an outside perspective, someone from the outside showing interest in it would actually be a good idea. And I was like, light, you know, I was like, fuck, man, you're right. So I started cooking. I think I made a post on like Facebook, like, yo, if I did a fundraiser for something, something, would you? And it got like insane reaction. Like, I just had like 100 bands to choose from. It fucking seemed like, you know, everyone from all over the place showed interest. Um, And then it took me a while to kind of like cook up like venues and stuff because I normally would book at like vaudeville. Um, and I guess that was it. I booked at vaudeville and the Rock Shop. Those are my main two places. I was like, man, I need a bigger space if I'm going to be doing like a fundraising event. I don't want to have it be in some if I want to raise money, I can't limit it to 250 people at fucking the shitty bathroom at vaudeville. So I reached out I remember playing a show with what we've become at the Des Moines Social Club when it was on
The
4th and
Come and Go
Court, like
Theater.
on that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was 4th and Court down by
Before
vaudeville,
that,
like
yeah.
on that corner. And then it moved. I was like, well, fuck, are they still doing that? I was like, well, yeah, they're over here in this spot. And I got a hold of Kristen Myers, who was with this social club. Shout out you. And she was so accommodating, hooked me the fuck up with like a good price for the venue. It was a nonprofit. Did some really good meetings with her. She got me hooked up with Red Bull and for a
That's cool.
sponsorship one year. And it kind of just like took off. I got a really cool lineup. I had the venue in line. Um, I've actually been talking to people about like how can I get a hold of that venue again? Because I want to do Gurn Fest. We'll talk about that later. Uh,
Yeah, that would be really cool. I thought the Come and Go Theater was dope. That when the second year that you did that, we had the Amplifaction on, and that was a lot of fun. I remember
yeah, it
you
was
you
it was
stormed
pretty
into the
wild.
you stormed into the break room, and you're like, "Who's drinking all the band's beer?" And you were so mad at it. was just like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah, it was just like anybody had access. I couldn't watch everything. I mean, I'm one
no,
person. There's fucking hundreds of people walking around in this place. I have to fucking run the door. I have to make sure the bands are staying on time. I had people like assigned to do shit, but then they're not fucking doing their job.
dude, it
They're
was a
like,
madhouse.
here,
There were people getting haircuts, vendors everywhere. It was a good time.
I got a
But
I got a haircut. I mean, fucking like it was an insane show. I mean, if I could do it again, I would probably take what I've learned over the years and make it a little bit more organized. But yeah, dude, I did 3 years of that. Didn't really raise like a crazy amount of money. I think like in total, we'll say like 7, 8 grand. I think out of the events after paying, the venue split,
that's
fucking
still
paying the
nothing to turn
bands.
your
I had
nose up at,
security
man.
one
That's
year.
cool.
Yeah.
But it was all about just keeping the word out,
Mm-hmm.
showing the city that it wasn't just Subsect who wanted a skate park here. And obviously, it's been something very, very fucking good and beneficial for our city. It
Yeah.
just took 20 years for them to finally like realize it and do something about it. So I'm glad I could be a little piece of the puzzle to help get it built. Uh, but yeah, that's a pride and joy of one of my big events that I've done.
You deserve the credit, man. Like I said, that's
I'm
crazy.
always trying to top that shit. I'm always trying to top.
Well, so currently, in the last couple of years, actually, no, when I say this, it's been more than the last couple of years, but you started a couple different projects here after you were done with Submerged. You're currently doing a project with Held Under with Mark Voina that's been going on since about 2020, 2021, right?
Yeah, that started in like 2019. That was like right when Emilio was cooking. He was almost about to pop. And I
That bun
remember
was coming out of the oven.
Marcus hit me up. I don't think he was even like in town yet. He may have
Mm-mm.
like just been moving back or I can't remember what the situation was, but he hit me up with some music and I was like, "Oh shit, you really been cooking still." So I got to writing instantly within, I don't know, a few months or something. We got in the studio and I pumped out that first little like EP, The Losing Grip. Those like 3 songs.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I've wanted to play those songs live for so long. I've been trying. I'm like, yo, Mark, yeah, we'll get a fucking lineup together, play at least one show. Uh, but yeah, Mark is the magician behind that. He's a madman. Endless riffs of all genres of hardcore metal. The dude is
he still
insane. So
sends me stuff like at least once a month. I get a riff from Mark that's just fucking
he just sent me
Yes.
something the other day, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, always, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, I jumped at that, and the stuff that we've come up with have been fucking awesome, and
I
probably
think that was probably
honestly
like the
some
first
of
time I
my
was.
favorite songs that I've like put together over the past like in my past bands. Like Held Under is probably that one that I think if we actually had a fucking full band for it, that could go.
Yeah, he's got a lot of tracks
You
there that
hear
are
me?
pretty cool.
Yeah, hear me, Mark? It can go some.
I think that was probably the first time I ever met you, actually, Justin, was because I kind of met Mark at that same time because he was, yeah,
Yeah,
right
weren't
around.
were you going to be jamming with us, or you were going to be learning the songs or
I
something
was
at
gonna
that?
do at the time, yeah, and then I don't remember what, just one thing led to another. I didn't have time to do both things. It just didn't work out for me. But yeah, those songs would be really dope to play live. Uh, yeah, that would be cool.
Well, you've already got started on it, dude. So
Well, there
I'm
you go.
sure you can be welcomed back in.
Right?
Find a drummer and let's get it going, boys.
That'd be sick.
Oh yeah,
That would be
that's
cool.
the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
finding someone to
Fucking
play that
drummers, man.
style.
My playing drum
Miles.
in
No.
another
You're up
band that
next.
I'm in. Please play with me.
So yeah, I just want to run through a couple other things here while we got a little bit more time. Obviously, I want to accentuate all of your current projects. So another one, Cursed Existence, super cool. We talked on that a little bit earlier. That's got Ian Frederigill in that band as well. Phenomenal guitar player. Your drummer's band, or oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Your drummer's name is Dan, right? Yeah, I went to high
Drum.
school with him. Yep, I went to high school with him, and he was the Cookie Monster. He didn't like to play double bass, and he was still like the death metal guy. And I
He's
think he
still
was in the drum. I think he was in the drum line, and a couple of my close friends were in the drum line too. So it was just one of those things that every time I see him, I was like, that's super cool to like see him playing with you. So yeah.
yeah, he definitely does not like double kick at all. He's a big
Mm-hmm.
like I fucking hate it. I don't like it. I love Bad Religion. I don't like double. I love beer. I
Traditionalist.
don't like double. Yeah, yeah. He's.
Do you guys have anything
I
coming up?
work.
I know that you're really running hot for a while. You guys are playing a lot of shows. Do you have any plans for another release? Me and Logan have talked about how much we really enjoy the full length that you guys have.
Yeah, I
I
listened to that one a lot.
can't. Oh, I can't really disclose much,
Okay.
but
Okay.
we're.
No worries.
I don't care. We're cooking up something for this year.
There,
We're
there you
cooking
go.
up
Oh yeah,
probably one last show. I think is what we're gonna do. Keep your eyes out. This summer we'll probably be doing one more show and releasing the album.
Fuck yeah, dude. Love it. Love it. So yeah, I'm moving forward a little bit more. Again, Final War. That's your most recent project, and yeah, that's really good, dude. I was listening to some of that here earlier today. So is that Jordan With brought with you in that band too?
Yeah, Jordan Whitbrought, Gavin Lukes, David Barlow on drums. He's just insane. No one can match that
Shout
snare
out Dave
tone.
Areno. Oh man,
Shout out Evil Dave, werewolf
yeah,
style.
he's
Uh,
my guy. That beard is looking fierce, man. Yeah.
dude, he's just fucking on top of it, dude. He bought a pair of Balenciaga. I'm telling you, man. David's just on some fly shit, dude. I'm telling you. David Barlow. Don't fuck
Yeah,
with him.
he's the fucking man. Shout out David.
And then Sam Bozen plays bass.
Okay, cool.
So Jordan started coming back to shows like last year, and just kind of got the fire kind of kicked in his ass. And Gavin and him have been in bands over the years, countless bands, Peer Pressure. They filled in for other bands together and stuff like that. And Gavin was like, "Yeah, I'm down to write some fucking riffs. I like heavy." They got together, wrote some stuff. Gavin put programmed drums over it. I mean, you can
Hmm.
clearly tell that from the recordings. Yeah, he did
I
it
think it
all
sounds pretty
himself.
good.
Gavin pretty
yeah, I
much
thought it did too.
Gavin wrote and produced and did everything all by himself, and then just
Hmm.
brought the stuff to the practice spots in Ankeny, and I recorded the demos there. It is a simple production, and it sounds cool. It sounds
Yeah, it
bigger
sounds.
than it actually is.
You had me fooled. I thought for sure like it was like a somewhat produced like more than that. Like that's cool. It sounds really good.
He's
Yeah.
definitely figuring it out.
Well,
He's definitely
it's
figured.
impressive because it doesn't sound like programmed drums, but it sounds like an older school, not more sort of a DIY kind of type of thing, but it still sounds really
Yeah,
well put together. So
we're
Yeah.
definitely for the next stuff. I think we're definitely gonna have Dave's own little flair in there. We gotta
yeah,
have
you
that
got to,
snare
dude.
on that fucking next track, dude. Because you can't. I bet one of those snappy snares that's like programmed is gonna sound so bad. It's just not gonna sound the same as like the
Right.
natural crack.
Pop. Yeah.
It all depends who you go through. They can get that nice, that four square ball reverb going good. It just depends. But yeah, either way, Dave's got it. So do some live drums.
Yeah, Final War. We just got added to a show. Skin to Live's EP release show. We just got added to that. So that should be fun. April 29th at Helter Shelter. Uh, we play first, so come
Get
kick
there
some
early.
ass.
Yep. Well, boys, we're getting to the end of our time here. I do want to just, shout out again. Thank you, Justin, for joining us, man. Everybody be on the lookout for Rizzy Productions here. Logan, you got anything that you want to add here before we give the floor to our friend?
No. No. Go for it.
Justin, any shout outs, any information you want to give out, any updates, whatever you got, my man, we're happy to hear it.
Where do I start? Shout out Live and Suffer Collective. The dudes that I do the hardcore shows with, we're on top of shit. Shout out Lefty's Live Music for always letting me do fucking shows
Eric, oh
there. Shout
yeah.
out Helter Shelter. Um, Shout out Doe. Shout out Skinned Alive, Source of Fire, False Providence, Wastegate, the Emblem Faction, Hookshot, the Slow Retreat, Common Hollow. Fuck, man. I'm gonna leave too many people out. Shout out my moms, What up,
There you
mom?
go. Shout out
Uh,
all moms.
yeah,
There it is. Well, it's been a great time, boys. As always, it's been just noise.